Look, we just saw how Donald Trump has danced around or with white supremacists over the years.
Yeah.
But sitting at a table,
Yeah.
at his home,
Yeah.
at Mar-a-Lago, with the white supremacists like Nick Fuentes, does that cross some kind of new line?
Well, look, for most people, it's crossing a line. For Donald Trump, it's sort of another day in the life. And I think we've just got to acknowledge that the president now has sort of joined the D list of celebrities. This is what you do. You hang out with discredited entertainers. You hang out with, neo-Nazis, and you try to make time with whoever will give you attention. But the fact of the matter is, it's appalling when anyone in public life has any degree of hesitation about hanging out with those people who promote anti-Semitism, racism, and all forms of hate.
What's the impact of it? What's the impact of a former president and the world seeing a former president dining with an avowed white supremacist?
John, it is the normalization of hate. We're seeing it again and again. And think about it, we're still mourning those who were shot dead in Colorado Springs 2 weeks ago just because they were LGBTQ. 2 weekends ago, we had an anti-Semitic attack narrowly averted right here in New York City, where men were apprehended or intercepted at Penn Station with automatic weapons, bulletproof vests, and knives. They were planning on attacking a synagogue. And now this is the normalization of hate, where a presidential candidate or someone in public life thinks it's permissible, again, to spend time with people who spew prejudice and hate.
So, as a civil society, what should we do about this? What is the right response?
Well, I think one thing, what we're already seeing and you're showing, are people, prominent Republicans, calling it out when a Republican in their own midst, again, promotes hate. Because you need to call it out when it happens from your own side. Democrats need to call out Democrats. Republicans need to call out Republicans. But the second thing is we've got to cut off the oxygen to these people. Trump and Nick Fuentes, they thrive on attention. We've got to cut it off and really reconsider how we even cover these people anymore.
Well, how do you do both, though? How do you call it out and cut off the oxygen at the same time?
I love the way the New York Post, covered his announcement. They said, Florida man announces run for president. That's how we need to treat Donald Trump, not as a credible former politician, but as a discredited hack, again, who weaponizes hate and who uses anti-Semitism to advance his agenda. That's not okay, no matter how you vote, no matter what your party affiliation. There should be nothing partisan about promoting prejudice.
It was interesting. Marco Rubio and Mike Pence, who we heard part of his response there, they said basically both the same thing. They both condemned the fact that Trump sat with Nick Fuentes, but they both also made a point of saying that they don't think that Donald Trump himself is an anti-Semite. What do you think of those who choose to make that distinction?
I think it's fair to say that this man whose daughter, whose grandchildren are Jewish, has a complicated relationship with the Jewish people. But when you validate the people who spew anti-Semitic venom, that's enough. We can't judge people on what they say. We've got to judge them on what they do, John. And again, whether it's saying there are fine people on both sides, whether it's pretending like you don't know who David Duke is, whether it's telling the people rampaging through the Capitol wearing Camp Auschwitz sweatshirts that you love them. Again, we've got to judge Donald Trump on what he does again and again and again. And it's validating the worst elements of society.